Storybox Audio. 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 Storybox Audio.
Yeah, good evening, everyone. I I hope we can hear me. Please let me signify in the chat box that you can hear me. I need to be sure about that before we start. Well, I'm so excited. Apologies for the few minutes. So I'm just trying to a lot of technical things behind the scene, but I think we are in now. So please just signify that you could hear me. Please, can you hear me? Please, can everybody hear me? Find it. Yeah. Okay. Please, can you hear me? Am I clear? Okay. Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you. Okay. So please, let's get into today's session. So our speakers are ready and they'll get into. So I really want to get out of our faces. Well, let me quickly do a quick introduction regarding today's program, right? So LEDCon is a yearly program that has been organized by me. So I think it was the name, it was led. So so I think it was a time that I was searching for clarity for myself, and I was trying to just find a balance while searching or taking time for personal development and to be deliberate and intentional about my growth. And I discovered that, and that was where it set out that okay, this has been the process that I've taken to discover myself. I think I should also make it easier because we have a regular code that says when it gets easy for you, make it easy for others. So I've been able to find clarity, and that was how I came to understanding that okay, this has to be public. We need to make other people benefit from this clarity, and them too can live a more purposeful life, right? So LED is an abbreviation that means leadership, education, and design. So I think it was a time of okay, what do I really want to focus on? What part of my life do I really want to do? Those are the story, and that was how we were able to come to the story. But most of the time, I really have to bring our speakers on, and so that we get into the details of everything. So we have three lovely speakers, and these are people that I really, really respect a lot, right? I really respect their craft. I respect what they stand for in their industries. So lucky for us, we have people from different sectors. We have from HR, we have from power, we have from real estate. So that people in different sphere of influence, and they are making tremendous impact in my own life and in their own community and out large there. So I feel that I cannot be the only one to constantly benefit from this. And that's why we are organizing this program. So please, I also really want you to just open up your heart and be ready to learn, because there's a thing about learning. When knowledge comes, right, it can fall on different grounds, as the Bible says. So you don't want to be among the people that just get excited and for some things they forget. So I really want you to have notes, so that you're keeping track of things that you are absorbing, right? And you can quickly go back there probably anytime that you get led, and you quickly do what you need to do and take action, because that's the key. It's not enough to have revelation, but the ability to enforce that revelation. So right now, I don't know if you can help me. If you can see our speakers on the screen. So let's just see all our speakers. So that, hey, my God,
Nice
thank you
to
very
see
much,
you.
man. Thank you very much, man. I know. Hey, man of God, I don't, sir. Hey, thank you. It's an honor to have these people. I don't take them for granted. I'm telling you. Okay, let me give you one story. Is the fact that every person, I never knew, it was not deliberate, but I knew that, I think I was in church service or whatever thing, and this names dropped and said, this person. I have not told the speaker before that you must, they'll be the one to come and speak. And funny enough, I think it was 3 days ago when we made the general flyer. There, I now know that these three people have been in different phases of my life. Like, it's a long story personally, but they are different people on different phases of my life. So I think I don't want to go into that story. So Pastor Kelechi is the phase of my life in the new. Pastor Victoria is don't mind me, I'm calling them pastors. Some are pastors or someone, but it's just they are powerful people. Pastor Victoria is part of my phase in Calvary Bible Church, and Anthony that will join us last is part of my phase in Synagogue Church. And I'm finding that, okay, these people have been tremendous in these different sectors that I find myself. Wow. So which really says that I think you need to be aware of whatever season that you are, people that God has put around you, and how to maximize them in whatever thing that you are doing. Sacrilege is also my teacher in the new. As Victoria is my pastor in Calvary Bible Church. So these are people that they are, they are my leaders, and that's why they are here. I think everybody needs to benefit from some of the things that are taking advantage from them.
I think we can no longer see Michael. Not sure.
Yeah, everybody benefit from some of the things that are.
Hello, Michael. Hello, can you hear me?
I can hear you, but I think Michael just went offline. Maybe we'll just wait for him to come back online in a bit.
Okay, sorry for that glitch there. I hope this network really help us today, but I believe that it will be a joyful ride. Just stay with us. We'll get. So first of all, I just want to quickly bring Mrs. Victoria about. She's a HR. She's a inspiration, like a powerful voice in the HR industry for years, and I really respect what she does. So she just wants to quickly speak for us with us within 20 minutes about leadership. So, Ma, I just want to take the floor. Just speak to us, whatever thing that you have been led to talk to us today, because I strongly believe that a lot of young people are on this call right now or on this live right now, and they are ready to get blessed. So, Thank you, Ma. Please, can you bring her on so that we can?
Okay, great to be here. Can you hear me? Confirm you can hear me. Please confirm you can hear me. Please, can you confirm you can hear me? Just want to be sure. Hello? I want to be sure that you can hear me. Please do confirm you can hear me. Can you hear me, please?
Yeah, we can hear you. We can hear you, Ma.
Oh, okay, awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. So I'm going to say thank you, Michael and team, for inviting me to the LED conversations. And you know what you said was that the journey to becoming starts here. I'm going to be speaking to that word leadership. I'll be talking through some points just in the next 15-20 minutes. I'll talk through some points, but also use some personal examples just to take you through my own personal leadership journey. It's a journey I'm still on, but you know, I'll take you through specific occurrences in my leadership journey, both in terms of ministry and also career, where God has helped me to get to in my life as I am. And like I said to you, everybody, it's still a journey for me, and likewise every other person. I think the first thing to really point out is that everybody is created to lead. There's a book that I led a group of people. I have a platform, Inspired for Impact. And then within that platform, we have another platform for just career women. And we read a book about, it was in 2019, I recall, it was in 2019, yes, that we read the book. And in that book, it's The Leader Who Has No Title. Robin Sharma was talking about leading from where you are. And so when I say that everybody is created to lead, I'll take it from two perspectives. One is the perspective that whatever situation you are, whatever level you find yourself, whether you're young, you're old, you're starting off in your career, you're already established in your career, or you're still in the process where you're thinking, what next? Maybe you're a young professional who's thinking, okay, do I want to stay put in career? Do I want to go fully into ministry? Or do I want to go into business? Or do I even want to just combine different things? You might still be in that stage in your life. Or if you're a career person, you might be in the exploratory stage, or where you are establishing yourself. Or if you're even somebody who is quite old, you might be thinking to yourself, what else do I have to offer? I've lived the most of my life. So what's there? Maybe I should just take the back seat and just watch. But so the first perspective in that is that no matter where you are, no matter where you find yourself as an individual, both in terms of the location, in terms of the situation, and in terms of where you are positioned, everybody is created to lead. So it means that you can lead from where you are, no matter what your situation is. The other perspective I want to take that word, everybody's created to lead, is the perspective of creation. When God created man, he said he would make man in his own image. And the image is the likeness of God. And you and I know that God is a leader. God leads, God instructs, and we follow. Any leader who is leading and thinks he's leading and doesn't have followers is only taking a walk. I think that was Dr. Miles Monroe that said that. He's only taking a walk. And we know that God wasn't taking a walk. Even in the Garden of Eden, he wasn't taking a walk alone. Adam and Eve were following. Did they follow as they should? Maybe not at that instance. But God is a leader. God is the supreme leader. So if he's saying that he has created you and I in his image, like it's documented in the Holy Scriptures, what it means is that you and I have the potential within us to lead. So everybody has the leadership potential. No matter where you find yourself, everybody has the leadership potential. Unfortunately, this is another thing to note. As much as we are all born to lead, as much as we all have the potential to lead, a lot of people, let me not use the word a lot, let me be definite. Most people will die as followers. And don't get me wrong, it's not bad to be a follower in certain areas. You might not lead across all sectors or across all domains. But the area where God has called you and positioned you to shine, you can be a leader. I used to tell some people that I lead, and I tell them, And God might have called another one person to a multitude of congregations and then calls you to 10 persons. If those 10 persons you fulfill the assignment of leadership, then you have succeeded in that sphere. In another sphere, God can be calling you to lead a lot more persons than the 10. If you also succeed in that space, then you can say, yes, you have succeeded. So having given you the fundamentals that everybody is created to lead, I've told you about to be created in the image and the likeness of God. So it's a fundamental requirement that because you are made in likeness of God, you cannot be anything different but carry his image, and that's the image of leadership, one who shows direction. That's what God does for us. And so if God says, God shows you direction, and his son now says, greater works than I did you will do, it means that you have no reason not to lead. You have no reason not to show others the path to follow. You have no, that's what a leader does. So you lead by example. People are following you because you know the way. There's this level of development you have gone through, and then you know what to do, you know the direction to take, and then people are following you. In simple terms, that's leadership. And so if God has created you and I in his image, that's a responsibility. So imagine when God, let me go scriptural now. When God put Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden and he said, go reproduce, we look at it these days as just in terms of recreation of offspring. More than that, God is saying, go subdue the earth with your results. With your results. So the things that God has put in you, listen, I remember I said everybody has the potential to lead. So that potential God has put in you, the potential to be the best where you are, to be the one that brings the mind of Christ down. Recall that the scripture says, I'm sorry, I know that not everybody here will be born again or a Christian, but let me say this for as many that I can follow. God told us that he has made us kings and priests. As a king, you are supposed to lead a particular domain. As a priest, you are supposed to bring the mind of God down. That's what leadership does. You are leading the people, but you're also leading them right. This is what you should do based on your own personal download. But let's take a step back and say, before you even get to all that realm, first the realm of, oh, yes, you were created to lead, you have the potential, and then these are the expectations. Before you get to the expectation of leading others, the first fundamental step is self-leadership. The first fundamental step. And see, and that will lead me to my next point, to tell you that leadership is caught more than it is taught. And I'm going to be breaking down what I mean by leadership is caught more than it is taught. Recall what I said earlier on about everybody has the potential, but most persons are going to die as followers, meaning that every capacity of leadership, all the potential, no, I'll use the word potential now, because the capacity now to lead, you now have to develop it. But the potential is inside you. The potential is inside you. Take a candle that is just there. If you know a candle for maybe the new generation, I don't know if you've seen a candle before, but you would have seen at least you see scented candles before. If you take a candle, there's the potential for a candle to light up a place. That potential is there. But if the thread is removed, the ability for that, if that thread is in there, no matter what you do to the wax, it will not bring out light to light up the darkness. So that potential is inside the candle, but it has to be activated. It has to be activated with the fire. So there are two things. The thread, if it is removed, there's nothing you can do anymore. But then if the thread is there, there has to be an external source of fire to activate it. So that's where the capacity development comes in. And that's why I'm starting from self-development. So there's the potential, but the first thing is that you have to catch it. And when I say catch it, you don't go to it. Yes, a lot of time people read a lot of books on leadership and all that. Very fantastic. But it has to come fundamentally with an inner desire to say, I am called to impact my world. I have seen people in my sphere of influence, of the financial sphere, of the social and the social and spiritual, of maybe agriculture, of education, whatever sphere God has called you into, or whatever sphere you're operating as a professional, as a young professional, or as a mature professional, whatever sphere you're in, what it means fundamentally is that there is something God has assigned you to. And mind you, I keep using the word God because there's a higher authority that you and I are accountable to. And so if you die from this world without a release of the entirety of your potential, it means that you have told the person who sent you on this assignment that you wasted your entire time. So when I say it has to be caught, it has to fundamentally come from within. So it means that there's a desire to be more. There's a desire to do more. There's a desire to set direction. There's a desire for people. There's a desire to change things. There's a desire to, to turn things around beyond the way you met it. What will be said of you that you came through life, spent 20 years, spent 40 years, spent 60 years, and there was no single thing on the earth that transformed because of your being here? There's no single life that will say, I followed you, and this is the transformation I got. You can't lead. You can't be a leader if you are not self-led. And the self-leadership has to come from within. You have to, first and foremost, have a strong desire for transformation, for growth, and to be more, to be more, to be more, to be more. It has to be a first and foremost, a strong desire internally. And then from the point of desire, then there has to be a resolve to say that, yes, I'm going to be better. That's what a leader does. You don't follow somebody who's learning from you. You don't follow somebody who you see that on all counts, you are way better than the person. Then you are going to be stagnant. If as a leader, the people you are following know more than you, do more than you, can see ahead more than you, then their lives will be stagnant if they continue to follow you. Because you can only give to others the beats that you have. Again, I say it is first internal. You can only give leadership out. You can only give direction. You can only lead people to the beats that to the extent of what you know. Things never get better than what you know. And so when I say self-leadership, it has to come from within. First, you have to catch it to say, I really want to be a leader. Unfortunately, not everybody will be a leader. Not because they do not have the capacity, not because they don't have the potential, not because God instructed some people more than some persons in certain areas. The truth is because not everybody will catch the idea that, yes, I can be more, I can do more, and I can lead others to do more. And so there has to be first and foremost that desire, and then an internal resolve. And then the other thing, beyond your desire, beyond the resolution, then you have to be committed to growth. You have to be committed to growth. Somebody said something. I'm going to say this to professionals that are listening or that are going to be watching this subsequently. Listen, it's been proven that if you're in a field, any field you're in, if you are able to commit 1 hour a day to read up that field, read up whatever it is, relevant, irrelevant, that you think is irrelevant for your field and endeavor, it just takes you a number of years, whether 10 years or thereabouts, where you become a leader in that field. You become an authority. People know that you have something to offer. That's a leader. When you speak, people are listening, people are taking note, and their lives are transformed. They are looking up to you for what is God saying. There's an insight, and I'm using that word God saying. I recall back in the days in the school in Uniben, that thought came to my mind just today. There was a point where there was exam season, was 200 level, I think at the time. It's been a long time, and I spent so much time reading, so reading my books, but also so much time in capacity development in the spiritual realm. And I went into exam. I just felt a very strong leading around the areas to cover. People who knew me as class pastor, some people jokingly came to say, Bishop, that was my nickname then, Bishop, which was the area of concentration? I just laughed. I said, well, this is what I am being led to focus on. Guess what? Every single thing I said came out. From 200 level to my final year, every time the people would gather and say, Bishop, what has the Lord said? I'm just using that example. Bishop, what has the Lord said? Because I took my time to do two things. There was a deep moment, place of study. But there was also a deep moment, deep place of personal development in the spirit. And so I'm using that spiritual part because that was what that took. So whatever area you desire, I told you it has to come from a desire, it has to come from a resolve. No matter your circumstances, some of the greatest leaders in the world today have come from the most basic situation. Some of the greatest leaders today have come from the poorest places. But because there was an internal resolve, first a desire to do more, to be more, and to give out more, there was a resolve to say, I cannot remain where I am. I have to be better and I have to lead. Then there was a commitment to growth. And how do you show commitment to growth? Consistency in your personal development, in the reading, in your discipline, consistency in personal development. I'm going to stop there. I don't know, for whatever area that you find yourself in, any sphere, whatever area, if you're, for example, you're a graphic artist, if you spend 1 hour at the minimum a day, beginning to, just try your hands on different things. If you're a teacher or if you're somebody who's an author, spend 1 hour at the minimum a day in that field of endeavor. It would only be a matter of time. You now become an authority. When I say an authority, it doesn't necessarily mean in the entire world. An authority is somebody that people listen to. In that field, the people who are coming behind you, and they will listen to you because you have something to offer. The other point here is that self-leadership is supreme. Self-leadership is supreme. You can't give to others what you don't have. And listen, when I say self-leadership is supreme, yes, there are people who are falling into, and I use the word falling into, greatness by chance. Maybe they got opportunities and you know them. And you'll be like, is this lazy person? Things are just working for him or her, just because of chance. I can tell you what, because there's no self-leadership in their level of discipline, in their own commitment to continuous growth. Not that because what took you to that height might not sustain you. Let me not use the word might. It would not sustain you. Because the realities of yesterday differ from today. And guess what? The realities of today are completely and will be completely different from tomorrow. In fact, as we speak, the realities of this night, look at it tomorrow morning, a lot of things will change. And you need to continuously be one step ahead of the game. And so you need to continuously check, okay, what's the next thing? How do I prepare? What's going to be in this field? What is going on? What are the changes that are being anticipated in the field that I am in? And what are the steps I need to now begin to take to prepare myself? For somebody, like I was saying, who falls into leadership, just falls into that situation where, they just had to select somebody, or you did something so well and things are working for you. When that commitment to continuous growth and self-leadership isn't there, it will fickle away. And that's why you look around, you hear people in the music world, you hear people in arts, you hear people in sports where they have left the pack in different areas, but in a short while, they are no more, because the consistency of discipline, the consistency of continuous growth, the consistency of continuous practice isn't there. That's what keeps you. That's what keeps you going. So first within, then without. You have to develop that. It has to be from within first. I'll say something about self-leadership. There's a lot around your habits. There's a lot around simple habits around the time you wake up. You're being consistent about being an early riser. The habit I talked about, reading 1 hour a day in your sphere of influence, the area where God has called you to be. Your habits are the base upon which the altitude that you will rise to as a leader will be. And you have seen people that will rise so high, within moments they have dropped. Within moments they have dropped. And the reason is because, and when I say moments, I speak in terms of time. So when I say moment, I don't mean seconds, maybe a few years, maybe a few months. But you want to be a consistent leader. I talked about the desire. I talked about you having that resolve, and then your commitment to growth. What are the things you have outlined? The year is going to an end. In your commitment to growth, have you reviewed the last the last 11 plus months and looked at how you have grown in the different areas of your life? Let me put a challenge to somebody, something that you call the wheel of life. If you can do a research, typically you can have up to between 6 and 8 areas of your life. It's called the wheel of life. You research, you're going to see that exercise online. In that wheel of life, different aspects of your life, you have the spiritual, the finance, the career, the family, whatever area of life you put it, and then you grade yourself between 1 to 10. Where have you been in the last 1 year? Where have you been? I'm talking self-leadership now. You do not need an external circumstance in the country where you're located in, or in the economy to force you to do something like this. So when you do that review, you can realize that, okay, the circle or the arc or whatever it is that you will end up with is haphazard. You look at it, where do I want to be in 2023? This is the time to begin to do that. You're going to take stock of, okay, how's your 11 plus months been? Such that by the end of December, sorry, it's not 11 plus, 10 months. For me, in my head, I'm already in December. 10 months plus. So that by the end of December, there's a blueprint of what your 2022 will look like. By the end of December, you already have a blueprint because you have assessed where you were, self-leadership. You have assessed where you were, you know where you want to be, and you begin to itemize what are the things that can close the gap for me. Or some of the things you can do is identifying the steps you need to take, identifying the mentors you need to connect with, identifying the role models you need to learn from, identifying the books you need to begin to read to close the gaps. Those are key things you can do. And as you go into 2023, you go also online and research something around vision board. And let that be what directs you, what leads you. Followers do not follow leaders. Listen, why do you want to be a leader? We'll talk about self-leadership, but you want to be somebody of influence. Again, let me take this a bit spiritual, and permit me to say this. When God says that he has made you priests and kings, there's a demand on you. It's a demand. It's not just something you claim, it's a demand. You bring down the counsel of God and you also lead in your domain. It is a demand. Where scripture says, arise and shine, that your light is come and the glory of the Lord is risen on you. Listen, the next verse says that there will be gross darkness covering the earth. Covering darkness cover the earth, and gross darkness the people. But because the light is already risen unto you, the next verse now says the nations will come to your rising. They will come to your light because there's something that has been deposited in you. Imagine if that light that God has caused to shine on you, you cover it and you don't kindle that flame. The assignment God has placed in your life to be a leader to the world, you kill that assignment, and God is wondering, why did I give this person the potential? Why did that potential? So everybody, there's a reason why God has deposited in you. And nobody is permitted to play small. If you decide to play small, it's because you either don't have the desire, or you have not been committed to the growth that you should be committed to. And so when you begin to plan your next year, and I'm going to be stressing a lot about next year, or whenever time you get to watch this video, whatever space you're in, begin to look at your next steps. As I develop myself, what are the next key steps that I need to take? And then finally, is to say this: the world needs your leadership. If you have the mindset that there is something I am sent to address, then you know that you cannot play small. In your field, there's somebody that needs you. There's something that needs, so because a lot of us just go with that mindset of same old, and we're just things as usual. See that there's an impact, there's an assignment, there's an impact I have been called to make. There's something unique about me that I carry, and you need to let it out to the world. But first, you on your own needs to have that personal leadership and personal discipline to go forth. I'm going to stop there so that we can focus on other speakers. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Wow, that was extremely powerful, and I strongly believe that if you are watching, whatever time you are watching this, you are seeing some things that you need to begin to take action. I believe that she's speaking to different acts globally, right? So there are really some key things that I think Ms. Victoria Ibawa has really touched on, and I think they are extremely profound, right? Because as she spoke about personal leadership, a lot of people, there are types of leadership, as she said, that some people might be probably because of position you are appointed, and you just find yourself there and you think you need to just act. I think it's way more than that, as she has said, right? So it's more about you must be able to lead yourself internally before you now begin to express it. And as she also said that the word is waiting out there. There's this Bible verse that I love so much. I can't exactly, is it Romans 3:19 also? But what he's saying, summary, what he said is that the whole world is standing on tiptoe, for the rising of God's sons and daughters, right? So the whole world is waiting for you to just act. You can't continue to place more as in our words, right? So, but because of time, we really want to mind our time. So we'll get to, thank God, everything is recorded. It's on YouTube. You need to rewatch this. You can't just, it's not like one go. No, no. I think your brain doesn't have the capacity to take all what has just been said now at a glance. So you need to probably go to this video back on YouTube and rewatch it so that you better understand, you better write down, and you put these things into practice, right? So the next person that who is speaking to us right now is somebody I really respect. There's something about when you say something and you act it, it reflects on you. You carry this aura, right? And I think he's going to really touch out some of those stuff. I believe that you'll be led to touch on those areas. How do you even need to carry yourself as a leader? How do you need to, what are the criteria? What are the things that will make people respect you as a leader? What are the actionable steps that you'll begin to touch in? So I'll be bringing on Mr. Kelechi Anyaso. Let me welcome him as he just come on board. Yeah, thank you very much, sir. Let me leave the floor and you can just flow.
Hey, hi, Michael. Hi, everybody. Confirm if you can hear me. Just confirm. You can put it in the chat box or put it in the live stream so you can confirm if you can hear me. Just confirm. Let me be sure that. Okay, great. All right. Thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure to be here. I must say that I really appreciate the amazing work that you were doing, Michael. I really appreciate each time I see the things that you put up, the impact that you are making in your little way. I'm grateful to God. I'm so glad that our paths crossed. So yes, just straight to the business of the day. Thank you so much, Pastor Victoria. That was amazing words that you gave to us there. Very amazing words, and I believe so much that everybody on this live stream would have learned a lot of things from what you have shared. Basically, we can completely just end the broadcast already based off what you have said. But I'll just, dwell on that a bit and stretch our mind, expound on certain areas of the subject of this broadcast. So yes, leadership, excellence in leadership, the led conversation, and we're talking about the journey of becoming. When I think about that, what really comes to mind is why do we exist? For what reason have you been born? What are you? Who are you becoming? How are you becoming what you're becoming? Do you have a goal inside? Do you have a vision for your life? Do you have aspirations? Do you have a self-image about your life, about who you're supposed to be? One thing I'll say is the journey of becoming is a continuous loop. What I mean by that, it means that your entire life, you're going to be going through metamorphosis. You're going to be going through different cycles of your life that are supposed to become a person. And this person leads to the next person you're going to become. When I mean person, I mean personality. I'm just going to be a classical example. If you look at the social demography of any country, you realize that the moment you are born, and the time interval between birth and death, right? There are different age grades and social expectation of those age grades that you're going to step into. So it means that you are born you're born today between age 0 to 10 or so, or 11. You go through different educational systems, educational levels. There's the crèche, you move from there all the way to the primary school, all the way to secondary school to university. You're about 20 to 25, you're a graduate and you're expected to be plugged into society. And then that continues that way. At some point in your life, you are just a pupil in the primary school. At some point in your life, you become a student, right? At another point in your life, you become an undergraduate. Another point in your life, you become a graduate. After you become a graduate, you become a worker, or a business owner. After that, life expects you, if you want to get married, you become a husband to a woman. After that, you become a father to a child. After that, you become a grandfather to a child, and the several other things which by vision you are going to bet for your life, you become those things also, right? So there's a close tie between leadership and how well you go on that journey of becoming, and I'm going to try to tie that up, building a foundation on what Pastor Victoria shared with us previously, and then I'll just stretch that into this particular journey of becoming. So first and foremost, I said your journey of becoming is strongly dependent on how much leadership you have for yourself. Pastor Victoria mentioned self-leadership, which is one of the most important assets that you must have to really go through this journey of becoming. Now, what is leadership? Leadership is essentially influence. Leadership is essentially being visionary. If you can lead yourself right, first and foremost, then you'll be able to lead many. Right? Now, what do I mean by leading yourself right? It means that you must recognize that the sole responsibility of who or what you become is dependent strongly on you. And now, if you understand that who you become depends strongly upon you, it means that you would now be intentional about leading yourself right. Now, leading yourself right cuts across several spheres of life, across several things. It means that like I've shared previously, from the moment you begin to get recognized by virtue of society as a citizen, there are certain stages of life which you are supposed to go through and become certain things. And it is a chain process. It means that whatever you become in secondary school, right, translates to what you will be in the university. What you are in the university, what you become in the university translates to who you become outside university. I'm going to paint a classical example. For instance, if you are in secondary school, for instance, right, and then you get into science class, right, but then your vision, the vision and the direction you pick for your life is that you are supposed to be, let's say, a chef, or somebody in the hospitality industry, or somebody who is a hotelier, for instance. But then you're in science class, right? You become a science student. There's already something disjunctive in that your journey, in the sense that if you want to be a hotelier, you want to be an actress, it is more ideal that you become first an art student, correct? And then that helps you transition into becoming the actress that you want to be. So in the same vein, right? And this is not to say that even if you can't make that transition, even if you were a science student, right? But what I'm trying to say is this: there is a more seamless process in the journey of becoming when there is vision alignment. It means that per time in your life, per season in your life, there are visions that you have set, and then you are connecting the visions along the journey. So say that brings us to the fact that one of the most important qualities of leadership that you must have for yourself is to be very visionary. You must be very, very visionary. Without vision, it is impossible to become anything. Without vision, it is impossible to become anything. The direction for your life is strongly, strongly dependent on the visions that you birth for your life per time. And part-time meaning that there must be short-term visions, there must be long-term visions. And that is how you journey yourself through life and become the things that you picture yourself becoming. Now, I just mentioned picture yourself becoming. It means there has to be a self-image that you generate of yourself. And you must live within the ambits of that self-image. Very, very, very strictly as much as you can. Leadership is the most important self-skill any human being must have. You are not only a leader when you are leading people. You are a leader when you stand for a cause. This cause can cut across different things. Now, when you stand for a cause, meaning that a cause meaning there is a pathway or, a direction, a roadway or a roadmap to something, that is a cause. So it means you must have the course you're going through is the course of becoming a person or a particular self-image that you have pictured for yourself, right? So it means you need to champion that course. You need to stand for that cause. And if it is, for instance, if it is just for yourself, right? You have just for yourself. It means you have to lead yourself rightly along that course to become who you see of yourself. Now, if we now expand and divulge beyond just yourself, you are looking at leading people. And when I say leading people, it doesn't mean until you are placed, until you become a governor, or until you become a councillor or a senator, or you become, maybe some publicly validated position that makes you a leader. But you are a leader not just when you're a leader not only when you have been validated or when you have been appointed in a public position, but you are first a leader from within any group that you are in. That is me expounding on the subject of leadership along a course. So, for example, what I mean is this. For example, you look at people like Martin Luther King. They were exceptional. Martin Luther King, Winston Churchill, Barack Obama. You look at people like Joseph Stalin and the likes. These people were leaders who stood for a cause, for a people. But even before they became leaders of people, they were leaders of themselves. It means that they saw a self-image of themselves and they stuck closely to it and strictly to it, and they moved in the direction of that self-image till it becomes a reality. You must first be a leader of yourself before becoming a leader of many. This conversation is strongly predicated on the subject of leadership and how you can champion that cause as you journey through life and become different self-generated images of yourself. Let me even tell you something. Whether you like it or not, even if you're not appointed to a public position, or you're not appointed by a board to lead an organization, or you're not appointed or you're not ordained in church to pastor or lead of people, one way or the other, the responsibility of leadership will come knocking at some point in your life. For instance, if you're a man, you have to lead your home. You have to lead your family right. You have to lead your wife. You have to direct the course of your family. So it tells you how important the subject of leadership is. The subject of leadership is. And you need to rise to the occasion now. I'm not sure, I can't really tell the demographic in terms of age of the people who are listening on this live stream. But at whatever age of life that you are in, whether you're a teenager or you're a young adult or you're in your late 20s or you're in your early 30s or you're in your late 30s, leadership needs to be developed. Leadership needs to be developed because that is the only way you can really, really, really execute different visions for your life. Like I said, leadership is influence, nothing more, nothing less. First, influence yourself before you influence others. First, influence yourself before you influence others. It means that if you are, for instance, you look at somebody who gets into university, and then you cut an image of yourself graduating from your matriculation day. You cut an image of yourself graduating with the first class, for instance, right? That is an image that is birthed by vision. So if you are living within the ambit of that vision, what that tells you is you need to do the things that are required of a first-class graduate during your 4-year tenure or 5-year tenure in university. So to become, you must first apply yourself to certain disciplines. You must first apply yourself to certain disciplines. You become to perform, and then you perform to achieve. So what I mean by that is this. Becoming is first a futuristic image that you paint of yourself. It means that you do not become now. You become in the future, but now in the present. What I mean by that is this. There is no disconnect between who you are and who you are going to become, right? Who you are going to become is connected to your present by putting in the hard work and applying yourself to the disciplines that you need to apply yourself to become who you see yourself in the future. So if you are 25, right, and then by 35, you believe you can become the youngest senator in Nigeria, for instance, you bettered that becoming in the present, but there is no disconnect between that becoming and where you are at the moment. The bridge between it is you understanding the levels of discipline that you need to apply yourself to, you understanding the levels of work requirements levels of work input that is required of you for you to become who you see of yourself. Now, it is clear that vision is the most important attribute that you must have in your journey of becoming. He that has no vision is a blind man, and blind people need people who are seeing to lead them to the promised land. So first and foremost, do you want to be led by somebody all the days of your life? Like Victoria said, people die followers. It means that if you do not have a cause that you are championing for your life, then you have to follow somebody all the days of your life who is championing the cause of his own life. Do you understand? So that being said, right, the journey of becoming is a continuous loop. It's a continuous loop. I opened my conversation earlier by explaining, the journey through life from between age 0 to age whenever it is that you leave the earth. There are by social demography, by social stratification, there are different age levels, age brackets that you step into, and by societal expectations, there are certain things that you must become to within those time frame. You understand? I think by United Nations definition, there is between age 14 and age 24, 25, you are categorized as a youth. And between age 14 and age 25, there are certain expectations society wants from you, right? And there are certain expectations your family wants from you, or friends wants from you. The expectations of you becoming a graduate, the expectations of you graduating from high school, the expectations of you, even if you don't want to go to university, the expectations of you becoming somebody of immense value, somebody who can give value and can receive value. Do you understand? So the journey of becoming is a journey fueled by vision and sharpened by focus. You must be visionary to effectively go on the journey of becoming. The journey of becoming is a journey that is primarily fueled by vision, and it is sharpened by focus. Vision is having insight, having foresight. Vision is having insight and having foresight. I always tell people it is not enough to see who you want to be. It is not enough to see a destination. You also have to understand. You must also have insight into how to get to that destination. Information and knowledge is power. Without it, you'll just be building castles in the air. I, for one, how I've led myself so far to become who I am today, or to be where I am today, is I can look back through time and say that at every critical, social, demographically, the social demographic stratification of life that has been defined, right, by society. At certain points, I was able to cast a vision for myself. I was able to cast a self-image of who I am, where I am going. Direction is key in your journey of life. You must know where you are running to. It is not enough to have speed. You must have direction. Speed without direction it's just, it's just like in physics, they call it a scalar quantity. You just have speed, no direction. But a vector quantity has speed and direction. It means that we know where you are going to. You also know where you are going to. It means that it is easier to monitor the course of your life when you have the direction, right? If you look at it critically, I don't want to go all scriptural because I want to believe that this is more this is the public, this is a broadcast to different people across different religious backgrounds. But from my own faith, right, if you look through the Bible, you realize that people who executed something significant through the Bible as recorded were people who had an excellent leadership capability. From Moses, he was an excellent leader. He led the children of Israel out of from Egypt to the promised land. Even if he did step into the promised land, but he led them on that path. He had the vision from God, and he walked with that vision and led the children of Israel down to, in their journey to the promised land. You see Joshua, you see Joseph, you see David, you see Jesus Christ himself, who is the true epitome of leadership. You understand? Now, excellence and leadership is image projection. Excellence in leadership is image projection. I'm going to explain what that means. It means that if you must be an excellent leader, you must be able to you must be able to give the right image of leadership. Whether you like it or not, people are watching you. People are observing you. All your gestures, all your nuances, everything that you do are being watched, and people are picking signatures from it. So for you to be an excellent leader along this journey of becoming, you must master the concept of projecting the right self-image. Now, that will lead me to what Michael talked about when he was introducing me, in terms of you being able to project yourself the way you see yourself and be able to lead yourself right, so that people can see that you are walking in a direction that people can tell that, oh yes, you have a destination that is right. It's a destination that will bring good success to you. Now, good success is not just about money, but good success in terms of your influence in life, in terms of your influence in life, and in terms of the wealth of your value. Do you understand? So, portraying the right image and values to people in the journey of becoming, you must pay attention to your character development. You must pay attention to character development. I'm going to tie that to also, what I said previously about self-image projection as a key element of excellence in leadership. You cannot be called the most excellent leader if all of the things you project about yourself is contrary to the expectation of who a leader is. There are ways to really project yourself and carry yourself so that it is in complete alignment to who you are and where you are going to. There is a need for character development. There is a need for strong personality traits being displayed by each of your gestures or nuances per time. Okay? So if I'm going to be the most excellent leader, if I'm going to be the person who comes out tops in this journey of becoming, right? What are the certain things that are required of me? What are the certain disciplinary measures or things I need to subject myself on there so that I can come out tops in this journey of life? Like I said, first things first, you must be able to sit with yourself and draw up a self-image. Now, a self-image in the sense of you must know who you want to be. Who you want to be, and stay true to that self-image. Understand? Now, that being said, you have casted a vision of who you want to be, in terms of the self-image of who you want to be. Now, the next thing is to append a timeline for yourself to become that self-image that you have seen of yourself. So, at some point in my life, I always wanted to, when I was in university, I had a vision to be on Forbes 30 under 30 Africa, So that image helped me to connect myself to the present and helped me to chart a direction to how I'm going to get there by the time I am 30. Now, am I working on that path? Am I making progress on that path? Yes, absolutely. Will I become who I saw myself becoming 10 years ago? Yes, absolutely, by the help of God. And this brings me to the part of, like I said, you must have a self-image and you must have put a timeline to it. Now, when you put a timeline to it, then you must now break it into milestones. Now, milestones meaning that, there are milestones that by default, life, society has set for you. Then there's a milestone that you need to set for yourself. Now, what I mean by milestones you've set, society has set for you is, by 16, 17, you're expected to have left secondary school. That's a milestone. By 20, by 21, 22, you're expected to have graduated from university, and become whoever you choose you want to become. Now, those are milestones society has set for you, right? Now, you must also have a milestone for yourself, for your own life. You must have certain expectations of yourself based on an image that you have casted for yourself. Now, taking me back to what I said about being on Forbes 30 under 30, right, 10 years ago, it means I was able to break that into milestones. 10 years ago, I was still an undergraduate, right? But I was able to break that 10 years into 2 years, 3 years, 4 years milestones, within that 10 years frame. So what that helped me do was I knew I could measure my progress per time and not putting any pressure on myself. Because if you have a milestone that you have set for you, if you have a vision you have set for yourself and you have put a milestone to it, achievable milestone based on your capacity, based on the resources available to you, what that helps you to do is it helps you to kill the pressure of competition. It means you're not comparing your progress with the progress of your peers or whatsoever. You are completely focused on your journey, and focusing on your journey helps you to really make reasonable decisions per time, helps you to stay on course and not put pressure on yourself. Now, taking myself back to what I said about being on Forbes 30 under 30, I was still undergraduate, right? So it helped me to put 2 years, 3 years, 4 years milestones, within that 10 years frame. So what it helped me do, it helped me to know that, okay, if I'm going to become an entrepreneur as I am right now, it means that I would have chosen the industry that I want to really focus on. And now, if I'm choosing an industry, I've set milestones for myself in the sense of how do I get into that industry? Do I need to work? Do I need to, go learn, certain key things in that industry before stepping out as an entrepreneur in that industry? So that's for me. I'm thinking personally for myself. So it helped me to know that once I graduate after NYC, I was just going to work for like 2-3 years so that I can really learn some organizational traits, understand some structural needs, to run a successful organization, right? It helped me to understand, it stretched me along different rules of business management, business development, brand development, corporate communications, I learned that within 3 years, and when the 3 years came, when the 3 years elapsed, I knew that it was time for me to step out and go start doing my own stuff. I was able to come to that consensus because I had broken my projection. That is who I want to be in 10 years. I've broken it down into short-term milestones and long-term milestones. So when it was 3 years, I knew it was time to leave paid employment. So I stepped out of paid employment. While I was in paid employment, because I had a vision for myself, I had registered my company, I had incorporated my company while I was still working. But then, when the time came, based on the milestone I've set, I stepped out, and I started doing, started business along the line that I am in right now. Now, stepping out, there was also a milestone for how much progress I must have made in the world of entrepreneurship, so that I can attain the stature of being, on the Forbes 30 under 30, Now the goal is not just being of up 30 under 30, but the goal is more about the value that you must have created that would be enough to be recognized by an international business magazine like that. Do you understand? So it means that I have seen myself as a billionaire, for instance, or somebody who leads or champions a Fortune 500 company, and I was working in that direction. Okay? So when I stepped out, what it did for me was, because I had a milestone, I told myself, okay, in another 3 years after stepping out, I must have gotten to this level in terms of results, in terms of business growth, in terms of business business performance. So have I done 3 years in business? Not yet. Have I made the progress? Am I monitoring my progress through those milestones? Yes, I am. And that drives me part-time into how I'm going to pivot, how I'm going to, what strategies I'm going to employ to really get myself to where I want to be. Keyword, everything I've been saying so far, has revolved around one keyword: become. Be, become, be, become. Because how God created the heavens and the earth was by becoming. He just said, the Spirit of the Lord was hovering over the surface of the earth. And he said, light be, and it became. Because he had an image in his mind of how the earth should be. The earth was without form and void. And that was an anomaly to God. And he said, become, because he had an image, right? And he kept on calling things to become until he looked at it and said, okay, this is good. And then he rested. In the same way, if your life is without form and void, you need to call things that be not as though they be. You have to become. You have to grow along that journey. You have to be calling yourself forth part-time, a milestone set for your life, that I must be this, I must be that. Until you get to 100% in terms of the image of becoming, then you can rest. So maybe I should rest my case here. You have to be
very, very much. In fact, wow. In fact, so as speakers were speaking, okay, for context, I think I think me and some of my team that we work together to just bring this program to life. Right now, I could have been doing some other thing, but I have to put this out that I just heard that you have to do this stuff, and I just have to do it. Even with I know it's a lot of things, campaign, gathering people, that nobody's paying you for whatever, but it was an instruction that I had to follow. But listening to what the speakers have been saying, I just received some satisfaction that, oh wow. So what would have happened if I had just say no, or I mean all this program that would just be coming that do that. I could Right now I could have been doing some other stuff. But right now I just see that even me personally, I'm getting blessed. In fact, I just want to appreciate you, Mr. Kelechi. That was so powerful, right? It's that this last part that you were speaking about, even the word was about becoming, right? There was first a vision. God saw that this thing was good and it was nice, and He called it forth, right? And you were speaking about they have to be a vision, and also you spoke about focus. You must first see something, and after seeing that thing, you don't need to be focused on it. I think that's extremely powerful. So because of time, I really want to just try and so that we just listen to every speaker, because there will be chance for question and answer. So if you have any question that you want to ask regarding what each speaker has said, please the comment, you can ask your questions there. We'll try as much as possible to pick those questions and try to put it out there. But apart from that, because I know we might not be able to answer all those questions, I need you to follow all these speakers on different social media platforms. They are on Instagram. I think they are all. First of all, Miss Victoria Ibawa. I think that's her handle. Just check Victoria Ibawa. You can see her. And the speaker that speak now, Mr. Kelechi Anyanso. That's also his name on Instagram. You can check it out. I don't know whether I'm entirely correct, but we'll try to share that. As to what Miss Victoria even said, that leadership is caught, not taught, right? Nobody can really, really stand just by looking. Some of these people, just by saying, you can really get a lot of things. Personally, I got a lot of things from them, and I've been just looking from afar. Even you get a lot of stuff, right? So right now, I want to speak to our last speaker for the day. Last speaker for the day, and we're running up, but really, you must listen again to this live stream. You need to just create one time or two, so and listen to everything again. It's going to be transformative. There's something that this words is going to shift in your actions or in your life, right? So let's make sure that we create that time to listen again. So this is a friend. I've seen him. He's an entrepreneur, right? He's into the real estate sector, right? So I've seen him grow something from small. I knew when the thing started, and how with consistency, with focus, with vision, how he has composed and grew that to another level. So I believe that he'll probably be touching some of those things, because I know that we have a lot of business people watching us right now. We have a lot of career people also watching us right now. We have people that want to start something, or they are in between these decisions. So I strongly believe that God will take it towards that route, and you communicate to us. His name is Anthony Nwaogo. So I really want to bring him on now, so that he just quickly speak on excellence in leadership. So the journey of how he was able to become. And let's bring our speaker on.
Storybox Audio. Storybox Audio. Storybox Audio. Storybox Audio. Storybox Audio. Storybox Audio. Storybox Audio.
Yeah. Okay.
Storybox Audio. Storybox Audio.
Yeah. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me? Can you hear me now? Oh, okay. Okay. There was a little bit of um, glitch there. So thank you everyone for still staying tuned, right? So we are really trying. So our last speaker is on the road, and the way I'm saying things, I'm not very certain that we can. But he said he will be able to meet up with us if it's possible. So, but right now we have to proceed because of time. So, for any questions and answer, so I need to just put if the other speakers are on the screen so that we can all see each other. So that we just quickly do the question and answer session now, and we get to it. It has really been, in fact, even the as Mr. Kelechi said that we could have even just end just with the first session, but nevertheless, we need to proceed with whatever comes, right? Okay. Um. Okay. So while we continue, Mr. Kelechi, I just have some questions, right? So I just need you to help us answer these questions. So I want you to help us handle the part of what we call servant leadership, right? So that is the ability to serve and still be a leader. That is, I would say something like thriving in another man's vision, right? And you can still be a leader in another man's vision. So there's so many idea outside there that, so when we speak about leader, you have to open your own company, you have to be your this. So I want to talk.
Storybox Audio. Storybox Audio.
Okay. Let's try to bring Mr. Kelechi on.
Can you hear me?
Oh, sorry, sir. Did you get what the question I asked?
I was just going to mention. I just want to just gloss over it. What I heard was we're asking about the concept of servant leadership, how to thrive another man's vision, how to be a leader in another man's vision, while you're also following. Am I correct?
Yeah. Yeah, that's the question. Thank you very much. You can proceed.
Okay, great. So just to answer that, I'll quickly just really redefine what leadership is. Like I said, leadership is influence, nothing more, nothing less. Now, if you understand that influence is a virtue that you should live life by, it means that at any place you find yourself, you must ensure that you're influential. Now, being influential is not tied to being recognized as the team head. Being influential is not tied to you being designated as the prime minister. Being influential is not until you are designated the governor or designated as the CEO of the company or designated as the president of an organization. Being influential should be a way of life. So if you understand that, it means that if you find yourself in a team, if you find yourself in another man's vision, right? If you have sold yourself enough to be a follower of that vision, it means that you must ensure that influence is a free-flowing virtue of your personality. Now, if influence is the free-flowing virtue of a personality, it means that you want to be a positive influence, not a negative influence. Positive influence meaning that you are championing in the best way possible the vision that you have submitted yourself to. Do you understand? It means that you need to understand the concept of followership vis-a-vis the concept of leadership. It means that I can be a follower but still being the leader being a leader even as a follower. It means you can be the leader of people within an organization and help them to champion the vision of the organization. Now, that is influence. It means that because of you have submitted yourself to the overall vision of the house, it means that if positive influence is a free-flowing virtue of your personality, it means that you will ensure that you are able to influence other people who are followers of that vision in a positive way. Do you understand? So, because you are a follower doesn't mean there is no responsibility of positive influence that rests on your shoulder. Influence is also leadership. It means, for instance, if you are a team member of Mentis Academy, for instance, you are not Michael, but you have submitted yourself to the vision Michael has sold to the house, right? You are serving that vision, right? But at the same time, in serving that vision, you can be a leader of that vision. What that means is you can be the person who influences the team the most in the direction that Michael is leading the team. Do you understand? It means that you have caught the vision of led conversation so much that you are the one now championing the cause of the things that need to be done such that led conversation is a success. You are not the designated leader or the convener of that conversation, but you are somebody who is sold out to that vision and then you are leading others in the execution of that vision. That is servant leadership. Servant leadership is the most subtle form of leadership, and it is the ultimate test of your character as a leader. If you can lead when no eyes is watching you, then you can lead when all the eyes are watching you. It means if you can lead within the crowd when no one sees you, then you are validated enough to lead when everybody is seeing you. So leadership does not start until you are given a position. Leadership starts from the tasks that have been assigned to you to do. Leadership starts when no one is looking at you. Leadership starts when you are not the figurehead. That is servant leadership. I hope I've answered your question, Michael.
Yeah, thank you very much. I knew you were in a position to answer that question because I've seen a lot of the things that you've been doing, how you've been functioning in that position, and how you've sold yourself to even other people's vision. So I really appreciate that you were able to answer that. Okay, so we are still trying to get in touch. So I think the Kelechi will take almost all the hits because it's the one available right now. So there are some background issues that we are trying to, but that's fine. So, but we are sure, I think it's 100% capable to help us answer those questions. Okay, so right now, so there's what we call that. There's this popular word that is used outside called imposter syndrome, called what would I call it, like self-doubt, right? So a lot of people, a lot of leaders face this a lot. So whereby probably because you still struggle with one or two things. So anytime you go out there or you want to step up or take a bold step to do something, there's something that is fighting you that you are fake. So how do you handle these things as a leader, and what do you advise that we do to overcome such situations?
Okay, if I hear you correct, you're talking about how people can live in self-doubt of their abilities, correct? Can you hear me?
Yes, correct.
Now, first and foremost, what I would say to that is this. I think living in self-doubt of your ability, first and foremost, is a lie to yourself. Because why do I say it's a lie to yourself? You haven't done something before and you're trying it out for the first time, for instance. And then in trying it out, you are already having a syndrome, having imposter syndrome, in the sense of you think that you can't do well in that position. You feel like you can't do the things or execute things as much as expected, right? There's a persistent inability to believe that success, that the things that you can do can be achieved through yourself, right? So like I said, it's first a lie to yourself, because who told you you can't achieve what has been committed to you? Who told you that you can't lead right, in the position assigned to you? So it's first a mental thing. You need to attack that thought with a positive mental attitude. It's called PMA. You must first and foremost attack it by telling yourself, reiterating to yourself that, okay, I might not be great, right? But I can be great. What do I mean by that? It means you understand the journey, you understand the concept of progress, you understand the concept of growth. You understand that you can put yourself under tutelage and then become better at whatever it is that you are doing. So it means you're not judging yourself outrightly from the first test, right? But you're giving yourself the room to grow. You're giving yourself the opportunity to develop. You're giving yourself, you're progressively increasing your ability to execute on the job. Okay, so imposter syndrome, to me, it's a lie. It's something you have to first attack in your mindset. That if I've been committed, if I've been assigned to deliver on a project, or assigned to deliver on a task, or assigned to lead on a particular objective, right? Give yourself the room to grow on the job. For me, one thing that I have really lived my life by is to continuously put myself to the test. It means one thing I never tell myself is I can't do, or I don't say no. Whatever it is that somebody asks of me, can you do this? I always say yes, because I've given myself the understanding that I can learn on the job. I can grow on the job, and I will do what it takes to get the job done. So, first and foremost, it's a lie to yourself. Attack it from a positive mental attitude, right? Give yourself the room to grow. Don't put yourself under pressure. That's what I would say.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I must say that I'm honored for this session. I don't want to, because I know that I'm already exceeding my time. So I want to ask the last question, and probably going forward, we'll be able to find some other sessions whereby we can bring each speaker individually to just come and break those people that want to listen to you or probably have more questions. But this is just like a foundation for this program, right? So let me just quickly ask the final question, and that will be what are the areas that you think that we can be excellent in our, let's final question now we round up. What are the areas that you think that we can be excellent in our life, where we can deliver excellence, and that will begin to make us a better leader? Is it in our conduct? Is it in whatever? What are the areas that you feel that is in our appearance, as you said earlier? I know you've got these areas, but what are the key areas that you can give us, maybe 3, 4, 5, that we can begin to exhibit the best, that is excellence in our life, that can now make us a better leader?
Okay. So what I would say to that is the areas of your life you need to look out, first and foremost. To be the excellent leader, to be the best leader, is a function of developing the right character traits, right? Character development is at the center of excellent leadership. So character development cuts across several things. Character development in terms of your interpersonal skills, in terms of how empathetic you are. Are you a people person, or are you self-centered? Are you selfless? Because for me, I feel selflessness is a very key requirement to be an excellent leader. Selflessness in the sense that you are interested in the progress of people. You are interested in the overall well-being, the wellness of people. That's one level of character development. Another level of character development is what are your values? What are your moral standpoints across different critical subjects of society? What I mean by that is, what are your values? For instance, values along the lines of marriage, values along the line of business, money, values along the line of religion, values along the line of faith, values along the line of self-development, values along the line of just platonic relationships. You need to really sit down with yourself and ask yourself those questions, because leadership, right, is, like I said, is influence, positive influence. And positive influence means that you are essentially pouring yourself out to people, so that people can follow you. Another key thing you need to really develop is the ability to tell a story. So the ability to make people believe in a vision, believe in a cause, believe in an objective. Because the truth of the matter is, people follow you when they can drop their own will and follow your own will. Now, to be able to make people drop their will and follow your will means that you must be an excellent storyteller. You must be an excellent vision caster. You must be an inspirationalist, if there's a word like that. You must be able to inspire people. So for me, one of the things that I really applied myself to is being able to, because at some point in my life, I was very, what's that word? I was very intuitive. I was also very introverted in the sense that I was just all about the progress I was making for myself. I could just cast an image for myself and just keep running with it. I couldn't really carry people along, But carrying people along is a function of you being able to share the images, the thought processes in your head, be able to galvanize people to follow a particular path. and then get them to the desired destination, without losing any of their wheels or losing any of their loyalty. Do you understand? So you must be a amazing storyteller. Be somebody who is able to make people see the reason to believe in a dream. It means that you must be inspirational. You must be able to inspire people, galvanize them. And you cannot inspire people by gesticulating or moving your hands around. You are able to inspire people by words. Words shape destinies. Words carry power. The power of life and death is in the tongue. You must be able to talk and talk right. So if you want to really be a leader, you cannot run away from good oratory skills. You must be able to speak right. If you don't have good oratory skills, you can develop it. Apply yourself to speaking more. There is no way you're a leader of people and you don't be able to stand in front of people to say one or two things to get them to go in a particular direction. So, like I said, it boils down to a lot of things: character development and a lot of interpersonal skills. Interpersonal skills in how to communicate, how to galvanize people, how to inspire people, how to make people believe in a dream, how to share a vision, how to cast a vision. What other thing will I even say again that you need to look out for in being an excellent leader? I'm looking around. Yes, you must be someone who lives by your word. You must be somebody who protects your integrity at all costs. It means that people can vouch for how you will react or certain steps or certain decisions you might take in certain situations because they know who you are. They know that you cannot compromise on certain traits and values that you live by. So, integrity is something that you live by every single day, even to the tiniest little thing. I tell people, for instance, to really be an excellent business leader, key skills, it radiates around key skills, key interpersonal skills as something as people really overlook, something as simple as integrity, because that drives how you do your transaction, that drives how you treat people, your business partners, that drives how you really execute deals, that drives how you really the product quality that you put out there, So I'm trying to see I'm trying to see if I've not touched all other key areas that you need to look out for to really be an excellent leader in life. Yes, you must also be very, very, very goal-driven, and you must be a goal-getter. It means that you must be able to self-motivate. Self-motivation is an important skill, is an important trait you must have. A leader is self-motivated by constantly betting new visions and directions. It means you must stay hungry. You must be hungry. You must always find hunger. If you are satisfied, if you're hungry yesterday and you got food today, generate another hunger. You must stay hungry to really be an excellent leader. It means that you are not resting in your laurels. It means that where your followers think that they've achieved so much, but because of your vision is so big and you are so hungry, you keep telling them that there is more. You keep digging for more. You keep going for more. And to be honest with you, there is no cap to how much more you can make, how much more you can be, or how much more you can achieve. You are the one who caps it by yourself. Do you understand? So what I would say is be able to self-motivate and always stay hungry. I hope I've answered the question.
Thank you very much. I think you really answered those questions. Hopefully, I know that is even certain. That's bringing you back so that you do some maybe one-on-one and some levels that can really help young people really grow. So I want to just say we especially appreciate you. Thank you for your time. you understand, out of your busy schedule. In fact, we just have to forcefully, or creatively make this happen. A lot of the speakers that I knew the names, I had to make sure that I just get this people to do, right? So thank you very much. Really appreciate you. God bless you.
My pleasure.
And I really appreciate for giving back. Thank you very much. So thank you, everyone. We want to just round up this session right now because it's really been there's a time limit that I'm really working with time, so I don't want to exceed that. So please, feel free to just come back here and rewatch. Our mission is to continue to raise leaders, to young people to begin to be deliberate and intentional about their personal growth, right? So we want to motivate more people to begin to see that there's a bigger picture more than you. There's something beyond you. You can't just be you, right? There's the world. You're just like a tiny frame in the whole universe, right? So why don't you make it count? That light that you are, shine that light. So and when we say LED, right? LED significantly means light, right? So shine. Then let your light shine in your community. Let your light shine in your family. Let your light shine in your business career or whatever. Let your light shine in your nation. Let your light shine. Be a leader. Significantly impact where you find yourself. The world is far-fetching. That's what we want to reach. But wherever that you are right now, start and begin to impact your environment in whichever way that is possible. It might be where you are working, whatever thing that you, as I said, you don't have to be the CEO. You don't have to be no. Just creatively impact wherever you find yourself. It can be your colleagues, it can be your community, it can be your family. Let them know that yes, there's something that you want to add value to. There's something positive or good that you want to do. So not to waste much of our time, I want to appreciate everybody that worked behind the scene. No, you can just be seeing my face here, but there are some guys that have been working tirelessly, doing the campaign and everything, doing the design, doing all those things, right? I want to especially appreciate these people, right? I especially celebrate you guys for really putting in this work. And nobody's paid for this stuff, right? But they just, because they see the vision and they really want to just support and they're able to just contribute immensely. So this is just this year's edition. So hopefully next year we can become better, we can become more excellent, we can improve more, and probably find better some other speakers to come speak to us, right? So and we begin to grow. I really appreciate those speakers that came to speak to us. Despite, I would say, Pastor Victoria, she's in a retreat, probably at the mountain, like that where you saw there. Yeah, and the other speaker too, they are in tight angles, but they just made sure that come. Okay, we need to answer this call, and since Michael has called, you just need to just show up and be or contribute to what we are doing here right now. So thank you, everyone. God bless you. I appreciate you for joining. So just in the comment section, just drop whatever thing that, maybe one keyword that you are taking along with you. What is that thing that you hold that you are taking into the new week, that you are taking into, that you sit down but probably by tomorrow after church or whatever religious sector that you fall, right? That you can start acting on. It's just one of those things so that other people too can learn. And thank you. You can reshare that link for other people that you think that they need to benefit from this. Let them go and watch it. Thank you, everyone. God bless you. Thank you.
Storybox Audio.